Hi, this is for week 9. This is checking in on how I'm doing and how my research is going. Again, my name is Beth Kersey. Let's see. Right now, doing great. Retirement's wonderful because I get to do what I want to do. I can choose the gigs that I want. I just returned from a 2-week celebration of my retirement. Of my upcoming graduation, and so that was wonderful. Work-wise, this is what I'm doing. I've started a choral ensemble at my Episcopal church that I work for, and also am working to expand the choral ensemble that I've begun at the local Presbyterian church, which is just around the corner. I serve as music director, organist for both of these churches. I'm accompanying vocal music majors at Sul Ross State University and also accompanying the Big Bend Community Choir in Alpine, Texas. So staying very active for fun. I garden and I work in the community garden outdoor courtyard of our local public library in Marfa, Texas. Yes, it's crazy. We love it here though. What have I learned so far? I've been working on and researching about Arvo Pärt, the Estonian minimalist composer. He was born and raised and spent most of the first half of his life and his compositional work output under the Soviet Union regime. In that, he was trained at Tallinn College of Music in Estonia in all aspects of music theory and composition, particularly serialism, atonalism. He was heavily influenced early on by neoclassicism, as evident in Shostakovich and Stravinsky. You will find anyone that is trained under a communist system, China and Russia, they focus a lot on their counterparts. But they don't always get to study French nationalists, Boulanger, Debussy even, and so they have to leave their, they have to escape and go and study abroad to really get a better training in that area. So his music, Pärt's music, took on experimental sounds of serialism, and he even experimented with aleatoric sounds and collage techniques such as Stockhausen and Schoenberg. He did become increasingly religious in his life and works, which brought him under the ire of the Soviet regime, and particularly his work Credo in 1968. This ire brought Pärt to take a step back from public life, composing and publishing his music. And during this time period, he was drawn especially to mysticism, chant, particularly medieval and Renaissance chant, minimalism, and developed a harmonic practice called tintinnabuli. Tintinnabuli is what I looked at a lot so far. It is homophonic. It is homorhythmic. It does not adhere to functional use of common practice harmony. It does not use chromatic pitches. It does not modulate. It uses musical phrases that are usually short. It utilizes silence as a significant compositional device. It's usually slow in the tempo, and it does not change the tempo. The dynamics are usually quiet. There's a general mood of peaceful introspection, and it uses a formalized compositional plan based upon a series of interrelated rules, mathematically originated. The mathematical part is the part that I'm struggling with because I suck at math. I hate it. So struggling with that to get a grasp of that. I find the technique beautiful and quite inspiring. So the important sources, the first two sources were books by Andrew Shenton is the first one. It's just about Arvo Part. Great book with a bunch of collected essays. And then the second one is by Paul Hillier. Paul Hillier's research into Arvo Part is exceptional. And of course, the Oxford Companion to Arvo Part is a very good book. In fact, I've ordered the Shenton and the Hillier books. Some book chapters that I found by Robert Scholl and Sander van Maas, For Whom the Bells Toll, Arvo Part's Passio Metamodernism, it's difficult, Metamodernism, and the Appealing Promise of Tintinnabulation. Another one is written by Christos Kakoulis, which is called Silence, Music, and Architectural Design, Stillness and Transparency in the Work of Arvo Part and John Cage. JSTOR thesis and dissertations have been the most important place for my research, and the past 10 years when I taught my high school students in China how to write essays for the IB program, this is what I used the most. This is the database that I used the most and taught my students to use. So some of these have been Breaking the Silence, Estonian Music Days, Right Singing in Estonian Orthodox Christianity, Transformational Aspects of Arvo Part's Tintinnabuli, A Poet from the North, Arvo Part's Compositional Style, Out of Silence, and Collage. Why is this important to me? Well, the first time I heard Part's music was when I taught my choir to sing a piece by Arvo Part in Hong Kong, when I taught there in 2015, 2016. His music invoked the feelings of isolation, cold surroundings, and they bring to my mind when I was flying back and forth to China, and I would awaken and look out over Siberia. They would announce we're flying over Siberia, Russia. And the utter desolation and aloneness, and his music, and the coldness, and his music makes me feel what I saw when I saw Siberia. So my thesis is shaping up to be Part's use of mysticism, chant, and tintinnabuli in his The Deer's Cry, a musical, theological, and emotional analysis of this work. And I hope to have, first of all, an introduction to the thesis, biography, and historical background. And then my second major point will be an explanation of tintinnabuli and tintinnabuli in the work. Then my third point will be harmonic and melodic analysis of The Deer's Cry. Then my fourth part will be about the extra musical analysis, the hermeneutics, and the emotional aspect of the text of The Deer's Cry, which I think is very important and must be studied also when you're looking at Arvo Part. And of course, my fifth section of my paper will be my conclusion, restatement of the thesis, and conclusive statements. So that's what I've been doing. All Arvo Part. Listen to his music. Fabulous, beautiful music.